Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Hold on, let me see comments. All right, let's. I know it's been a minute, so I'm hopping on. Want to talk to you about let's build. Let's have a little conversation on tonight. And it is hot in here. Okay, hold on. Okay. All right, need a little air. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. What are you chiming in for? Hey, Chris, Marquise. Hey, Mel. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm gonna give it a little time for everybody to hop on. Just want to have a little conversation with you. My sister's on. Hey, Sean, Casey. Good afternoon. Want to talk about? Just want to have a conversation about how you're doing, how you're over, how you're coping during this time, and to give you a little bit of wisdom. Shannon. Good evening. Great evening. Yes, I'm doing. I'm doing fine. You know me. Hey, I'm a trooper. I'm gonna keep going till the mission is complete. Sharon, my cousin, is on first time. Hey, girl. Good afternoon. You look forward to hearing. Thank you guys so much for hopping on. I'm not gonna keep you long. I just wanted to have a few rough conversations with you. Want to talk about, Forex and some things and how, what it's done for me in my life, how it's changed me. Good afternoon, Jennifer from Hawaii. Just want to talk, James. Good afternoon. Okay, I got like two or three different screens up and everybody's popping up. So, for those that don't know, my name is Dr. Kathy Kirkland. I reside here in Texas. I'm a co-pastor of a church here called Temple of Faith. We have been co-pastoring. I've been co-pastoring alongside my husband, Dr. Mark Kirkland, for 11 years now. This past Sunday, so for 11 years, we're 11 years in Austin, in August. I'm sorry, and we've been, pastoring here. I know for a while. We ended up retiring here in Killeen, Texas, and my story is I used to be a real estate agent, and when the real estate market crashed, my whole world crashed right along with it, along with my 401k. And when I started with this, it was at an inopportune time. I had four kids in college, a 4-year old, and a husband who had just retired out of the military after 25 years of service. And when that happened, when the real estate market crashed, I had all of my eggs in one basket. Now I know we're going through some things, we're going through some economic changes. We always go through some economic changes, so that's nothing new. It's just like life. You go through different changes in your life, and you go through different things out of life. It's called growing. You have a little bit of growing pains every now and then, and sometimes it just don't feel good. So we're gonna just have a conversation about some growing pains that I was going through a while back. Now, I was first introduced to Forex back in 2006, and I ignored it because looking at it, it looked really complicated. And good afternoon, Miss Rose. It looked really complicated, and it was intimidating. But I was doing so good in the real estate market. I had my own property management company called First Impressions Properties, and I had, I used to sell houses and everything. So, I thought I had what everybody needed. But then, when the real estate market crashed, everything came tumbling down, and I didn't know what to do. And I had missed my moment back in 2006 when that was happening. Thank you. Good afternoon, Rodney. And so when I was first introduced to this by a good friend of mine, Dr. Joel Tinker, and I was going through some serious growing pains then. It was so hard. I couldn't even afford a meal plan for my kids in college. I had 4 in college at one time. It was not their fault that we wasn't prepared for this growing pain that we was getting ready to go through, and these economic changes that was happening. We thought we had it all together. And and you guys have heard my boys that came on a couple of weeks ago, and they were talking about their college days and how hard it was, and some of the things that they had to do in order to survive, and in order to make it work, but not quit their dreams. So every now and then you're gonna go through some growing pains in life to where you may have to do something a little different to get the results that you're looking for, instead of doing the same thing over and over again. So I was introduced to this by Dr. Jewel Tanker. She had gave me a call and told me that she was flying down flying down to Dallas, and for me to meet her there. And she was pretty much like, hey girl, we're getting ready to go back to school. We're gonna learn how to trade Forex, and we're actually gonna earn money while we learn. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, I don't have money to come down there. I'm thinking of every excuse as to why I can't do it. And but I didn't want my rich friend to know that I was broke. And so, and then plus when she was talking about going to school, I had already did that. I had went to school and got a good job. And I tell anybody, it took me 33 years to get a PhD. And it's in psychology, philosophy, I'm sorry, in philosophy, and I don't work in none of it. And so I'm like, okay, but I was looking at her and what she was doing and everything, and she wasn't doing what I was doing. So, she had the keys to what I was looking for. And so I met her down in Dallas, and we came down, and then we were talking, we was talking to the owners. We met a few people, and we met the Youngs, Tamara and Lawrence Young, and they was telling us about, what they have done, in the market, and they started trading foreign currency and everything. And I knew, about the foreign exchange because we used to be military. So, we lived overseas in Germany. And so whenever we exchanged the US dollar for the marks at the time, and now it's the euro, exchanged it. Sometimes you would get more money, sometimes you would get less. And so when I did that, I was listening to them, and they were telling me about what all they was doing and what all they had done and everything. And so, I was really excited because they knew how to make money while they slept. The reality hit me when I knew that I had to go back to work after 20 some years of working. I had already retired. We worked hard to retire in our early 40s. And Warren Buffett said, if you don't learn how to make money in your sleep, you will work until you die. That became a reality because when the real estate market crashed, my 401k crashed along with it. So 20 years of working were now going down the drain. I was down to $2,000 after working for 20 years with this 401k, thinking I was saving it up for retirement and all of that. And it crashed. So I didn't have another 20 years to give anybody. I was just not willing to give another 20 years of my life for anybody. I had already missed out on so much with my kids. And then, half the time, you single mothers that's out there, half the time, your babies are in daycare for 10 to 12 hours a day. You got them in the morning to get them up, to get them ready. And then you brought them home to get them ready for bed. And you repeated the same process over and over again for 20 years. For 20 years. And I didn't have it in me. And and I did everything that everybody said. Go to school, get a good job. I kept going back to school to get a good job. But the thing was, my job made me comfortable. It didn't make me rich, and it didn't make me wealthy. But it made me comfortable. And then after 20 some years of working, to find out that you got to go to work again. So when it was talking about the Forex market, I was like, okay, I didn't know you could really make money like that. I thought you had to have, a large amount of money in order to invest in it. So we found I Am Mastery Academy. And so the owner of the company, his name is Christopher Terry. And what he did was he used to work on Wall Street for like 25 years. And he taught the top trainers on Wall Street, during that time. And so he said if he ever made it big, he would bring Wall Street to Main Street. And so he did that. And when he brought Wall Street to Main Street, he started I Am Master Academy, teaching people how to trade. Now he was like some of us. He had been homeless throughout his whole life, even into his adult life. And I remember one testimony he gave where he said he had ate some frozen peas out of a bag. just so he wouldn't starve, but not take food out of the kids' mouth. So I could relate to where he was at. I was like, okay, well, he don't know, he's rich. He don't know, most people inherit their wealth. But he talked about his story and how he learned how to trade foreign currency, and he said that he was going to pay it forward. And so this is what I'm doing right now. I want to pay it forward because I'm not looking on your plate to make sure that, to see how much you have. I'm trying to make sure that you have more than enough during this space and opportunity that we have while we're going through a little bit of growing pains. This world is going through some growing pains. We're having some issues, not just like anything else in life. But sometimes when you're going through something and you're having some issues, you would like a little help every now and then. If I'm saying that, if that's right, and if you're going through something that you wish that somebody was there to help you along the way to help ease off some of those growing pains, type of one in the chat. If you're on the live, you can type of one in the chat. Denise, Wilma from Arizona, type of one in the chat because I needed some help at that time. I needed some help. You're going through, you're trying to figure it out. You're trying to figure it out while God worked it out. I had lost my real estate company. I had lost all my rental properties, and I had a padlock on the door that we were currently staying in. It was going into foreclosure. And the only reason why I did not get put out of my house is because I understood the real estate laws. I became a squatter in my own house until I could help God figure it out while he worked it out. So what I'm doing here is to see if I can offer you a little help on the night, if you're having any little growing pains, and give you, a few words of wisdom like somebody gave me to pass it on to me in order to help me get out of the situation that I was in. My car was in repossession. My husband had just retired out of the military after 25 years, and the reality was he had to go back to work. He took a job overseas. When I first found out about Forex, he took a job overseas. And they paid decent money, and you thinking, we get a contracted job, we go overseas, we make a lot of money. But he had to pay the price for that. He had to work 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, in 120 degrees, sometimes 150-degree weather. That was not good. That was slavery. Plus, the military had already took him away from the family a lot during that time, deploying, going to the field, going on different missions and things like that. And he missed a lot out on the kids when they were smaller. And I had just had a 4-year-old. So now here we are again to where he's being separated. His job cost him, even though he was doing what he needed to do in order to feed his family, he had to separate from me. He had to separate from his family. He had to separate, from, the United States, going over, to make sure that he had enough to do what he needed to do in order to help his family. And in my mind, I'm like, that is not right. We shouldn't be starting back over. We followed every rule. Go to school, get a good job, save some money, go on a few vacations, buy a house, and that's the highlight of your life. But it wasn't enough. And sometimes what you do is not enough. And so I was so excited about what I had heard when I was down here, and I'm listening to these millennials give testimonies. And I call them millennials because at the time they were ex-college students, fresh in college, and now I'm out of college, and some was still in. And they was telling, giving me their testimony about, what Forex had done for them and what was going on and all this and that. And I was like, okay, these kids are my kids' age. And me and Dr. Jewel looked at each other and said, we need to get our life together. Now, I'm following my millionaire mentor. I'm following her and I'm listening to her. And then for her to say, we need to get our life. We need to take this to the next level. Sometimes you got to stretch yourself and put yourself out of your comfort zone in order to get some of the things that you need. So this is what I found. I was so amazed when I was there because I'm surrounded by millionaires, multimillionaires, and 1 billionaire. Rich people do a whole lot of talking, but the wealthy whispers. And that day, they was whispering some good knowledge in my ears that I had not heard before. So I was so excited. I ended up signing up to go to school. I'm going to school one more time, y'all. I'm going to school one more time. Let me ask you this. Now, this is the good part of it. I did what everybody told me to do before, right? Go to school, get a good job. Go to school, get a good education so that you can get a good job, right? I went into college debt free, good credit. When I came out, I owed everybody. I came out in debt and I owed the government. On top of that, I never really worked in my field because I became now I'm overqualified. How many went to school to get a good job? Are you working in your field today? Type a one in the chat. If you well, no. Don't type a one in the chat if you went to school and got a good job. Because some of you can get a good job. But how many went to school debt free and came out of school owing? Type a one in the chat for that. And I'm gonna show you how you can get rid of your student loan debt as well. Type a one in the chat. If you went to school debt free, doing what was told, and then come out, my nephew told me so one. Matter of fact, 2, 3, 4. Sean, that's your baby. And come out in debt. Denise said 2. Melanie got 4 ones up there. Gabriel said, I'm not. Denise said 2. Girl, listen. When I found out, now with that, with going to school, that's right, bro. Going to school, I entered into college debt free. Now, this college, let me show you this. Now, the last college, these degrees showed me how to go get a good job. That's what those degrees showed me. How to go to school to get a good job. When I enrolled into I Am Master Academy, I enrolled in debt and came out of debt free. Okay. And the reason being is because I am Master Academy taught me how to make money work for me, and I don't work for it. Y'all pray for my husband. He is messed. Come on, go ahead. Come on. No, you're right here now. You might as well come on in. Say something to him. Y'all pray for him. He's messing up my video. But anyway, I went in debt free. And I came out on everybody. But when I joined I Am Master Academy, I went in debt, about to lose everything. My house about to get foreclosed on. My car was in repossession. And, I had just lost all my businesses. And I couldn't even afford a meal plan. Mel, pray for him because the man ain't changed in 30-some years. He's still the same. So when I realized that this institution, you can go in and learn how to make money work for you, and you no longer work for it. This is what I Am Master Academy teaches you, how to make money work for you. So I'm so excited. I come back to my circle of friends and I begin to tell them, hey, I just enrolled in this, and this, and they was telling me how to do this. And all you got to do is copy and paste, and that's it. And you don't have to do all that other stuff. And join me, come to school with me. They're going to teach me how to be the product. They're going to teach me how to be the bank. They're going to teach me how to make money work for me while I'm asleep. And so, my circle of friends, we all was in the same boat, because sometimes when you don't know about a certain thing, then you seem to think that it's a scam, and it's not really a scam. It's because you just don't know. So don't be so quick to call something a scam when it's really not. So I did my research and I came home. I was a little disappointed because nobody wanted to go to school with me. They were tired of going to school. Nobody wanted to go to school with me. So I got on my knees. I came home and I began to pray about it. And I was like, God, you see what's happening. I can only do this for so long. I'm about to lose my house. My car is in repossession. I'm letting a friend hold it so that it don't get repossessed. My kids, I can't afford a meal plan at the college to pay for the kids' school. And, me and my husband trying to encourage them while we figure it out. We're going through some growing pains. Type growing pains in the chat. We're going through some growing pains. and we don't know what to do. But we're still hanging in here because we see other people surviving and other people making it, and we see other people doing certain things and stuff. And so, and I'm like, the nine, yeah, that's right, Gigi. The 9 to 5 is a scam. The 9 to 5 is a scam. And the thing is, now I fully believe in the Bible. If a man don't work, he don't eat. But you got to have seed money in order to plant, in order to grow, and in order to reap. Your whole check should not just be going straight towards bills. You need to have more than enough. And sometimes we're going from paycheck to paycheck. Sometimes we don't have enough, and we don't know, what's happening. Inflation is going up, but my raise ain't going up. My pay ain't going up. And even if you get a pay increase, the taxes, you're in a different tax bracket. So it's like you're struggling. You're eating from hand to mouth. Trying to make it. Trying to make it. So I was praying and I was like, God, you gotta help me. You gotta help me. I'm squatting in my own house. God, you gotta help me. You gotta help me get out of this. I shouldn't be doing this. I'm supposed to be the head and not the tail. I'm supposed to be the lender, not the borrower. I'm supposed to be first and not last. Or, I need help. So, and I'm crying out to God and I'm telling him all those things. Now, y'all know I'm a pastor, so I'm gonna say, I'm gonna talk about prayer and I'm gonna say the name of Jesus. So it's no offense to anybody. And disclaimer, past results do not guarantee future results. Trading foreign currency can be risky, just like living from day to day. You're taking a risk every day. When you get in that car, drive out of this yard, when you sit down in a chair, you're taking a risk that that chair is going to hold you up. You take a risk every night when you close your eyes that you're going to wake up in the morning. So this is no different from anything else. So I don't want to hear anybody say, that's risky, that's gambling. You gamble in your life sometimes. You gamble with your life, but this is facts and these are results. So I began to pray about it and I was like, God, I need you to help me. If this is real, I don't have time for another scam. Trust me, I do not have time for another scam. I don't have time to get on here and do what I'm doing right now. It was a struggle for me to get on here to do this. But I want to make sure that you have more than enough. So I began to pray about it. And then he gave me Ecclesiastes 11:1. The Good News Translation states that it is good to enter into foreign trade because you never know what bad luck this world is going to give you, and that you need a minimum of 7 streams of income in order to survive. That's right, Casey. We got to break the norm, break those traditions. The traditions, sometimes tradition will keep you broke, busted, disgusted, and unknowledgeable. Some people don't like change, but change is what you need. And so when I realized then that I was in a man-made company with a God-written skill set, I knew that I could not lose. And a virtuous, and that's right, Coda, a virtuous woman have many sources of income. If you go back and read Proverbs 31, it talks about that. It talks about how she woke up in the morning, her kids called her blessed, she got things together, she gathered all her things, she, told her handmaids what to do, she told her, I'm paraphrasing now, the caregiver, the babysitter what to do, she told the lawn guy, the chef, have this food ready when I get home, and, all this stuff. And what did she do? The latter part of that verse says she gathered all her things and she went into the market and she traded. A wise woman knows how to build her house. So now I'm talking to the women. I'm talking to the women. I'm talking to the single mothers. I'm talking to the grandmothers. Miss Rose is 83 years old and she trades. I'm talking to the new mother. I'm talking to you. So I begin to say, okay, God, how do I tell other people about this? Give me one more scripture so that I know, because God's word is established 2 or 3 times. And so he gave me Matthew 25, where they talk about the talents, how he gave 1 10, gave 1 5, gave 1 1. And so he gave them seed. And he told me, and the scripture in Ecclesiastes 11:1 talks about how after in many days you'll come back in profit. It'll come back to you in profit. Now, this is not like my little 10 pips and dip, okay? You will come back in profit. After many days, you will come back in profit. So he's talking about swing trading. We want that money right now. Okay. And sometimes he'll give it to you right now, then sometimes he won't. So he came back. When he came back, he went to the one who had 10. The one who had 10 doubled what he had gave him. And God began to tell him, well done, thou good and faithful servant. You know, you patted him on the back and thanked him, and then entered into covenant with him. In other words, he entered into partnership with him because he did what he told him to do. And so he gave him more. He went to the one who had 5. He doubled his money. Now, growing up, this is why it's good for you to study to show your own self-approval. I said, Growing up, I thought the talents were your gifts. Singing, preaching, ushering, cleaning the church, counting the money or whatever the case may be. I thought it was your gift, and it wasn't the gift. It was your talents. It was talking about usury, which was money. So the one that had 5, he doubled his. He said the same thing. Well done, not good and faithful servant. And then he entered into partnership with him. Now the one that had 1, everybody, y'all listen. Everybody, I don't care what nationality you are. Everybody got one person in their family. You got that one uncle. You got that one aunt. You got that one brother, that one sister. You got that one cousin. You got that one. So everybody type 1 in the chat. Just don't let it be you. Type 1 in the chat. So he said, when God asked him where was the increase from him? He said, I knew the latter part of verse 27. We're talking about 25 and 27, Matthew 25 and 27. The latter part of verse 27 says, I knew that you were a hard taskmaster, and you will come back reaping where you have not sown. First of all, he lied. He said God will come back reaping where you have not sown. Genesis 22 talks about how he gives seed to the sower. Did he not give him that one talent? He gave him that one talent, and he said you will come back reaping where you haven't sown. So he hid it. He buried it. He hid that one talent and then pulled it back out and gave it to God. So in verse 27, God was saying, if you had gave the money to the exchangers, he's talking about the foreign exchange. He said, if you had gave the money to the exchangers, I could have came back for the increase. The increase was the tithe. Now, those that don't believe in paying tithes, I just, hey, that's you and your belief. I'm not going to argue with you about it, but I do know that I can't take 2 chickens down to the water company and say, here's 2 chickens to pay for my water bill this month. The church is a business, and it should be ran like a business. And it takes money to run it. But people don't believe in giving tithes and offering. Now, that's a whole nother subject. But I can't take a cow down there and say, this is the church mortgage. I'm going to give you this cow that's going to cover my mortgage for the month. It don't work like that. You can't even do it for your own house. You can't take it down there for your own house. So God was upset with him and cast him out because he did not do what he was instructed to do. Ecclesiastes 11:1. It's good to enter into foreign trade. Now, let me tell you something. We back off from foreign trade because we're intimidated by the charts. Sometimes you will miss your blessing because it is packaged differently. It's in a different package. And you've been praying and you've been asking God, I need help. God, I need to do this. I need to do that. You've been praying and asking God to give you these things. Then he give it to you. You turn it down because this package differently. No, God, I don't want that. That ain't what I'm talking about. I want this. And he's giving you more. And that's what the one did. He dismissed it as if God didn't say anything. And then on top of that, I began to Google it. So when I Googled it, I found out that Forex has been around since 4 AD. It has been profitable for 2016 years. It is the only thing that I know of that have overcame every economic crisis that this world has had since the days of Joseph when the first recession happened with the 7 years of plenty and the 7 years of lean. Guys, I'm talking about let's build. Let's build. We need to build our communities back up. We need to build our children back up. Grandmas, y'all know I'm a nana at heart. I'm the best nana in the world. We got to do this for our grandkids. We got to teach them now. Don't let them babies just be on that phone looking at YouTube. If they're going to look at YouTube, show them how to use it. They can work technology better than some of us. Let's build. We're going to build our communities. We're going to build our houses. We're going to build our homes. We're going to build our families. We're going to get what God has been telling. I've been asking for the wealth transfer for years. Those that know me, I think Patricia Landry is on here. She's been knowing me for over 20 some years. We've been talking about the wealth transfer. My conversation has been about the wealth transfer. When is it going to happen? And it came to me in 2006 and I dismissed it. Listen, it took me something, everything has a time and a season. I missed my season because I didn't get into this until 2016. 10 years had passed. I struggled for 10 years because I didn't know how to make money work for me. So I can't really, because of compliance. Shout out to compliance. I love you guys. Y'all are great. I took a small amount of money because that's all I had. I signed up for school. I got on my first live session and I took a small amount, 2 figures, turned it into 3 figures in 1 hour. Now, results are typical. It don't happen for everybody. But I knew how to compound my money. I just didn't know how to make it work for me. So I knew how every time I got back in, I just increased my lot size a little bit because Albert Einstein says compounding is the 8th wonder of the world. And you know how to compound. You just don't know how to do it the right way. Because we know how to take that credit card bill, figure out how we can cut that credit card bill down and save some money on the interest. We know how to go into the grocery stores with coupons. Come on, Mel. Shout out to you. She's a couponer. She will go in there and buy 15 rolls of toilet paper for $5. That's compounding your money. She just compound coupons. And I'm going to show you how to make your money grow for you. I'm going to show you how to make your money grow for you. So what I did was, in 8 months, all I did was got on, I copied, and I pasted. I was looking at the charts. I did not know what the charts meant. I didn't know what it looked like. It was all Greek, Hebrew, and Chinese, all the above. All the above. How many more couponers do I have in here? If I got some more couponers in here, type a 7 in the chat. You know how to get that deal. You know how to save money. You know how to get that good deal because we always want something for nothing, right? We always want something for nothing. And the thing is, we were going to tell somebody real quick, girl, Dillard's is hiring. You need to go down there. Or Dillard's got to sit. Now, everybody know I like shoes. They would call me in a minute. First lady, they got shoes on sale down there. Dr. K, they got shoes down there. And it's on sale. Buy 2, get 1 for BOGO or all that old mess. They're going out of business. Go get this and that. But we won't tell nobody how to make money work for them. We'll share everything else. We will share everything else. But look, Melanie said 778. We will share everything else. So y'all know, you know how to coupon. You know how to coupon. So now I'm going to give you a coupon. Okay? I'm going to give you a coupon. In 8 months, my whole life changed. I was able to get my car to repossession, get my house out of foreclosure. I was no longer a real estate agent. I was flipping houses. My husband had started working overseas and everything. And by the time his money started coming in, we were doing really good. In 8 months, my whole tax bracket changed. I have never lived like I'm living now out of all these years. And I had promised God I was going to stay in this house until he told me to move because I was so grateful. He showed me how to make money work for me and I don't work for him. So that I can have that testimony to show everybody and tell everybody. So, guys, I went from not knowing how to read the charts to being the #1 educator in the company for 8 months in a row. And then I was the first Black female to create a strategy called the ECC 11 strategy that has a 92 to a 94% win ratio for 2 years in a row. And only what you name after the word is going to last. So I went, God gave me revelation and I knew, look, you could do it. Because if you know your colors, you can trade. Because every time that red line crossed up on that blue line, that candle went green and I bought. Every time that red line crossed down that blue line and that candle went red, I sold. That's how simple it is. My job is to get you started. We have more advanced, and I do some advanced training and everything, but I'm telling you, tonight and tonight only, there's nothing else to research. I give you my website. You can go to my website at ibuildlegacies.com or get back with the person that invited you to this watch party. When you go to ibuildlegacies.com, it gives you the information about we enrolling in school, honey. And when you graduate, this is the best college I have ever went to, and it's a shame. I caught it so late. It taught me how to be the bank. It taught me how to turn my house into a Fortune 500 company. It taught me a whole lot of things. A whole lot of things. And I want to teach you. You got to sow something in order to reap something. The harvest is plenty, but the laborers are few. This harvest on this side is great. And you know how that saying is, you get what you pay for? It's only 1% of what I paid every semester to go to school. 1% of that. Some of you spend that on hair. I know I do. Some of you spend that on nails and getting your feet done, buying, just wasting it. Invest in yourself. I want to teach you how to become the product. This school is bailing people out, teaching people how to get out of the rat race. Okay? And I have a slot for 30 people. I have some great leaders on my team. I have a slot. Yes, I sure can. I can put the website up right here. I have a slot for 30 people. Okay, I'm typing it now. It's okay. It's in the chat. Student always. I have a slot for 30 people. I have some great leaders on my team, and we work as a team as a whole. We teach you what we know. I'm still an educator with the company, and I pull back my schedule with I Am Mastery Academy so that I can work with my team even more. So I'm taking 30 people. We have study groups, all of the above. So if you signed on with me, if you came to my page, but if you're on somebody else's page, because I don't believe in taking nobody's people or nothing like that. So whoever invited you to the call, get back with them. Get back with them. It's still the best thing you could have ever done. But I'm personally taking 30 brand new signups that are signing up on my team to show you how to make money work for you, train you. I I don't know if I can say this or not, but shout out to compliance, 17 millionaires in the past 4 years on this team. I'm not looking, listen, I got mine. I'm just trying to make sure you got yours. Okay? So get back with the person that invited you to the call. Thank you guys so much for hopping on just to hear me talk. Just to hear me talk. But I want to make sure that you have more than enough during this space and opportunity that we have. I appreciate you guys so much. And look, Ecclesiastes 11:1, it is good to enter into foreign trade. Some say you can lose your money in the market, and yes, you can. Just like you lose your keys, just like you lose money, just like you waste money, you can lose money in the market. Don't come in with that mindset that you can't, because you can. You just got to know what you're doing. Nothing is 100% in life. Nothing is 100%. Nothing is guaranteed 100%. So, guys, get back with the person that invited you to the call. Thank you so much. I'm taking 30 people tonight. You have to sign up tonight. 30 people tonight. And if you can't, leave a message on the website. Hey, give me another week, and I will save that slot for you. But sign up tonight. And I look forward to seeing you in the market and meeting you next week. We will have you up, running, and trading in the next 72 hours. You guys have a blessed night. Thank you so much for listening to me talk. I love you guys. I appreciate you. And I will see you soon.